The current round of MVC expansion is complete as UIC becomes number 12. Some background on UIC. UIC was founded in 1982 with the consolidation of Illinois Chicago Circle and Illinois Medical Center. UIC has a 34,000 enrollment, a $755 million endowment as of January. They're ranked number 103 by U.S. News, number 63 by Shanghai. They're an R1 Carnegie Research Institution. They're located in the number 3 MSA. They've experienced a 22% enrollment growth over the past 10 years. And Chicago is a top 2 alumni home to every current MVC member except Missouri State. UIC's 34,000 enrollment is at least 10,000 more than every MVC school. Their now $755 million endowment is at least $400 million more than every MVC school. They have the highest ranking in U.S. News at 103, and they're the only Carnegie R1 research institution in the Valley. Getting back into Chicago was really important to the Valley, as Valley presidents know that most of their schools are disadvantaged demographically. Chicago and Nashville are the only top 80 MSAs in the league. Valparaiso is also in the Chicago MSA, but for Valparaiso on this chart, I've calculated the total populations for Lake, Porter, Newton, and Jasper counties in Indiana for hypothetical Northwest Indiana measurement, instead of just duplicating everything from UIC's column. Retaining Chicago and adding the booming Nashville market helps out the Valley's demographics a bit, as Des Moines and Springfield were the only 2 Valley markets growing at a healthy rate. All the other schools were located in a stagnating or declining area for population. UIC's enrollment has grown by 22% over the past 10 years, Belmont by 36%, Missouri State by 16%. And these trends reinforce why Chicago and Nashville are so important to Valley presidents, as nearly the entire Valley has been losing enrollment, and the number of high school graduates are expected to drop off a cliff in future years. Majority of the Valley has seen their enrollment decline by double digits over the past decade, and so they need whatever pipeline they can get, whether it's Chicago or Nashville. Chicago also serves as a conduit for schools to reconnect and re-engage with alumni, which could potentially foster future donations. Over 45% of Illinois State alumni reside in the Chicago MSA, and nearly 60% of Illinois State undergraduate students come from either Cook County or one of the 5 bordering counties. Nearly 40% of Valparaiso alums reside in Chicago. About 1 in every 3 Bradley alums are in the Chicago metro area. Roughly 1 in every 4 Southern Illinois alums go to Chicago. A quarter of SIU students are from Cook County or one of the 5 bordering counties, even though Carbondale is located 5 hours away. Drake sees over 11% of their alumni going to Chicago. Over 6% of Indiana State alumni end up in Chicago. About 1 in every 20 Evansville alumni end up 5 hours away in Chicago. And about 3.5% of Northern Iowa alumni head to Chicago. So overall, the Valley has schools that distribute 45%, 39%, 33%, 24%, 11%, 6%, 5%, and 3% of their alumni to Chicago, which makes it pretty self-evident why the Valley needs the Chicago market. UIC budget-wise will fit right in the Valley. Their athletic budget would rank 4th in the MVC, and their men's basketball budget would rank 5th in the MVC. The Flames have been to 3 NCAA tournaments, and they were a 9-seed at-large bid in '98. In fact, if you take Loyola's budget in their final year as a Horizon League member and adjust for inflation and compare it to UIC's budget today, the 2 men's basketball budgets are nearly identical, separated by only about $60. UIC's conference history at the Division I level started in the AMQ8 and later the Mid-Continent Conference from '82 through '94, when they would move to the Midwestern Collegiate Conference, the MCC, which would later be the Horizon League, and stay there from '94 through 2022. And from 2022 onward, they will be a member of the Missouri Valley Conference. UIC started off in the AMQ8 in the '82-'83 season, and interestingly, while UIC was in the AMQ8, which would later be the Mid-Continent Conference, they would be conference mates with 3 future MVC schools in Missouri State, who was then Southwest Missouri State, Northern Iowa, and Valparaiso. And in the '94-'95 season, UIC would switch to the Midwestern Collegiate Conference, the MCC, which would later be rebranded as the Horizon League. UIC would see 1 more future MVC member in the Horizon League when Valparaiso would join, UIC and Valparaiso were also conference mates in the AMQ8 / Mid-Continent Conference. And now UIC will be joining the Missouri Valley in the 2022-2023 season. Here are the Valley athletic budgets. The top row is their total athletic budget, and then the bottom row is what their athletic budget looks like when you subtract scholarship money. The top athletic budgets in the Valley after subtracting scholarship money are Illinois State, Missouri State, and Southern Illinois. UIC's men's basketball budget will walk in at number 5 in the Valley. The top men's basketball budgets in the Valley are Bradley, Northern Iowa, Southern Illinois, and Drake. Here are the 3-year attendance averages pre-COVID. Bradley, Illinois State, Evansville, and Murray State lead the Valley. Here are the 10-year Ken Poms of the Valley. The top 3 are Belmont, Northern Iowa, and Murray State. And here's a travel chart for the Valley if you were to hypothetically road trip from each campus to another campus, and as well as Arch Madness. UIC will be within a 5-hour drive of 8 MVC schools. The next 4 minutes will be a slideshow of MVC history and venues. So if you want to skip ahead to the Horizon League expansion portion of the video, just skip through the next 4 minutes.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away. As you fade away.
For Horizon League expansion, I'm going to look at all schools in the Horizon League footprint: Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Western Pennsylvania. In reality, I think only 2, maybe 3 of these schools are actual candidates, and I think there's one school that's the runaway favorite to get an invitation. But for the purpose of this video, I'll look at all of them: St. Francis, Grand Valley State, Southern Indiana, Morehead State, Bellarmine, Chicago State, Eastern Illinois, Western Illinois, and SIU Edwardsville. First, here are the institutional profiles. Few things you notice right off the bat. Grand Valley State would have one of the largest enrollments and endowments in the Horizon League. SIU Edwardsville and Chicago State have endowments that would be below the Horizon League's lowest. St. Francis, Bellarmine, and Chicago State would all have the lowest enrollment in the Horizon League. Bellarmine is the highest ranked school academically of these 9 theoretical candidates. SIU Edwardsville is second. Now, demographics are a huge part of the Horizon League's identity. Every school is urban or suburban, and either in or near a large or mid-sized Midwestern market. St. Francis, Morehead State, EIU, and WIU are all rural and don't really fit the demographic profile of a Horizon League school. And for the 9 theoretical candidates in the travel partner row, that is how many miles they are located from their travel partner if they were to be admitted into the league. An important part of the Horizon League is that everyone is located near an accessible airport. Everyone is located in a top 155 airport in the country. And with some of these rural schools like St. Francis, Morehead State, EIU, and WIU, they're all quite a hike from the nearest top 200 busiest airport, which could complicate things for non-revenue sports. What will likely be a critical factor in Horizon League expansion is baseball. As with UIC's departure, the Horizon League is now down to 6 baseball schools. So UIC's replacement almost certainly needs baseball. And St. Francis and Chicago State do not sponsor baseball, which could rule them out. Here are the athletic budgets in the Horizon League. The top row is their full athletic budget, and then the bottom row is what's left over their athletic budget after you subtract scholarship money. Grand Valley State's athletic budget would be near the top of the Horizon League. St. Francis and SIU Edwardsville would also fit. Bellarmine's athletic budget today would fit too. Remember, this data is from when Bellarmine was Division II, so Bellarmine's athletic budget is definitely higher today. EIU and WIU technically fit, but it's important to note that their athletic budgets are boosted by football. If you were to take their football portion away, they would fall below the Horizon's floor. Here are the men's basketball budgets in the Horizon League with their rank in Division I. What's interesting to note is that Bellarmine, their men's basketball budget in 2019-2020 would have ranked 240th in Division I, even though Bellarmine was actually Division II at that time. So their men's basketball budget is likely even higher today. It's also important to note that Southern Indiana, if they go to Division I, they've already pledged publicly that they would need to double their athletic budget and presumably their men's basketball budget as well. But for now, Bellarmine and St. Francis are the only 2 schools with a men's basketball budget that would fit in the Horizon League. Here are the 3-year attendance averages pre-COVID. Wright State, Northern Kentucky, and Oakland lead the Horizon League. Morehead State's attendance would fit in the Horizon League, as would Bellarmine, Southern Indiana, and Eastern Illinois barely. Here are the 5-year KenPoms. For Bellarmine, their only KenPom ranking is last year at 167, so it's only a 1-year sample size, but still 167 is a very encouraging sign. Morehead State and St. Francis, their 5-year KenPoms would be mid-pack in the Horizon League. EIU would be second to last, and Western Illinois, SIU Edwardsville, and Chicago State all have 300-plus 5-year KenPoms that would be dead last in the Horizon League. And here's the NCAA tournament history. The top row is their number of bids to the NCAA tournament, and the bottom row is their number of wins. I've excluded any play-in preliminary round wins, first 4 wins, and any third-place regional wins. Bellarmine and Southern Indiana have storied histories in Division II. Morehead State would have tied for the most NCAA tournament bids and tied for the most NCAA tournament wins using this criteria in the Horizon League. And putting that all together, here's a comparison chart from left to right, whether they're public or private, whether they're urban, suburban, or rural, their enrollment, their endowment, their ranking by U.S. News, their MSA ranking, how many miles they're located from their theoretical travel partner, the ranking of the nearest top 200 airport to them, their distance from their nearest top 200 airport, whether that school is culturally a football school or culturally a basketball school, whether that league sponsors baseball or not. Their athletic budget after you subtract scholarship money and their men's basketball budget, obviously Bellarmine, Southern Indiana, and Grand Valley State, they have an asterisk as those would be Division II numbers. Then how their men's basketball budget would rank in the Horizon League and throughout Division I. Then a subjective judgment call by me whether their arena would be viewed positively, negatively, or neutral, followed by their 3-year attendance average pre-COVID, their 5-year KenPom, and then their number of NCAA tournament bids. And for the D2 schools, it just goes their number of appearances, Final Fours, and national titles at the D2 level. At number 9, I have Western Illinois. Their location is pretty remote, as airport accessibility is a problem for non-revenue sports. They're culturally a football school, not a basketball school. They're rural when the Horizon League is all urban and suburban. They're located in a micro-statistical area. They would have the Horizon League's lowest men's basketball budget by 34%. They're located over 4 hours from their would-be travel partner. They have a 5-year KenPom in the 300s and a 3-year attendance average in the 500s. At number 8, I have Chicago State. On the positive side of the ledger, they're located in Chicago. They're urban and basketball focused, and Jones Convocation Center is a pretty nifty arena. But they don't have baseball, which is probably a deal breaker all on its own. They have only a $5 million endowment. They've had years of financial mismanagement by their administrations. They would have the lowest enrollment in the Horizon League, the lowest athletic budget by 16%, the lowest men's basketball budget by 50%, and they have a 3-year attendance and a 5-year KenPom, both in the 300s. At number 7, I have St. Francis. Their athletic budget would be 4th in the Horizon League, and their men's basketball budget would fit as well. They would also help the travel partner situation, as they're located 95 miles from Robert Morris, which would mean Cleveland State and Youngstown State would be travel partners 73 miles apart, and Fort Wayne and IUPUI 117 miles apart. But St. Francis does not sponsor baseball, which is probably a deal breaker on its own. The school is also rural when the Horizon League is all urban and suburban. In fact, I believe Loretto, Pennsylvania, at 1,186 people, is the smallest town in Division I. They're located in the number 309 MSA when the Horizon League is all top 160 MSAs. They would have the lowest enrollment in the Horizon. They play in a 50-year-old arena with mostly bleachers, and they're under 5 hours driving to only 3 Horizon schools. At number 6, I have EIU. Their athletic budget is 3rd among candidates, albeit boosted by football, and they're only 2 hours from their would-be travel partner, IUPUI. However, EIU is culturally a football school, when 10 of 11 schools in the Horizon League are culturally basketball schools. EIU is rural when the Horizon League is all urban and suburban. They're located in a micro-statistical area, and EIU would have the Horizon League's lowest men's basketball budget by 33%. At number 5, I have Morehead State. Morehead State's 3-year attendance beat all the theoretical candidates by at least 25%. Their 5-year KenPom was the best of the D1 candidates and top half of the Horizon League. Their 8 NCAA tournament bids would be tied for the most in the Horizon League. And finally, their would-be travel partner is under 100 miles away. But Morehead State doesn't really fit the demographic profile of the Horizon League, as they're rural when the Horizon League is all urban-suburban. They're in a micro-statistical area when the Horizon League is all top 160 MSAs. They're not near a top 200 airport for non-revenue sports. They would have the Horizon League's lowest athletic budget by 14% and the lowest men's basketball budget by 31%. At number 4, I have SIU Edwardsville. They're located in the number 21 MSA. They're a good school academically, and they have a 13,000 enrollment, and that's growing. However, they're located nearly 4 hours from their would-be Horizon League travel partner, which might be a deal breaker on its own. They also have the Horizon League's lowest men's basketball budget by 21%, and their 5-year KenPom is $325. Now on to the only 2, maybe 3 schools that I think might have a fighting chance at this. Grand Valley State, they're located in the number 52 MSA with minimal in-market competition. So there's the potential to grab a really high market share of a top 52 market if all the stars were to align. Grand Valley's 22,000 enrollment would be top 3 in the Horizon League. Their $175 million endowment would be top 4 in the Horizon League. And their athletic budget was the highest of the theoretical candidates and would be top 4 in the Horizon League. However, that is boosted by having 20 sports, including football. Grand Valley on the negative side of the ledger, would need 4 years of transition. And Horizon League bylaws, as of a few years ago, used to not allow Division II call-ups. I don't know if that's still true, but it probably is. Also, Grand Valley is culturally a football school, whereas 10 of 11 Horizon League schools are culturally basketball schools. Matt Brown has linked Grand Valley football to the OVC as a football-only affiliate if Grand Valley were to able to make the move up to Division I. Grand Valley would need a massive boost to their men's basketball budget, and they play in a 40-year-old arena with wooden bleachers. At number 2, I have Southern Indiana. They have a healthy $125 million endowment. They're located in a mid-sized Midwestern market with a deep basketball culture in Evansville. The Screaming Eagles have a storied history at Division II with 28 NCAA tournament bids, 4 Final Fours, and 1 national title. They've also just opened the brand new $66 million, 4,800-seat Screaming Eagles Arena with suites, a club room, and an entire athletic complex. Like with Grand Valley, the Horizon League would likely want to see USI transition in a different league before issuing an invite. Southern Indiana only has a $5 million athletic budget, though they have publicly said they would raise that to $12 million if they were to move to D1. And their men's basketball budget as it stands today is very small, but presumably that would double. And the number 1 runaway candidate in my mind, Bellarmine. This should be no surprise. Pretty much everyone expects Bellarmine to get the invitation. Bellarmine fits the institutional profile of the Horizon League, being urban and basketball focused. They're located in the number 45 MSA. They're very strong academically. Their men's basketball budget in their final year of Division II would have ranked 8th in the Horizon League, and it's probably higher today. Bellarmine has had Ken Pom rankings of 167 and 159 through their first year and a half of their Division I transition. They have a storied Division II history, going to 4 Final Fours and winning 1 national title in the 2010s. They play at the historic Freedom Hall, and they have a long-time rivalry with Northern Kentucky, 80 all-time meetings. Trying to reach for any negatives, Bellarmine would have the lowest enrollment in the Horizon League, and they still have 2 years left on their transition, although the Horizon League did take in Northern Kentucky with 1 year remaining on their transition. But yeah, I think Horizon League expansion is as easy of a prediction as it gets. The odds of Bellarmine being the 12th school have got to be 90-95%.